Your physical body and anything you might be experiencing in your physical body is a direct reflection of what happens in your brain. One of my favorite studies that I've seen is that they take women who are house cleaners, and what they do is they tell half the women that they are athletes and they're very athletic, and the activities that they are doing are athletic in and of themselves. And they take another group of women and they let them do the house cleaning, and they don't tell them anything, and they just let them do the job the way they've always done. And what they find is that the women who they tell are athletes have decreases in body mass index, they have decreases in body fat, they have decreases in blood pressure, they have decreases in blood sugar, all indicators of health, vitality, longevity. And the question is, why does this happen? It's because the way in which they think about themselves is very indicative of the physiology that shows up in their body. So they actually get healthier when they think of themselves as athletes. So the most important thing to note is this, is that your mind is going to set physiologically what happens in the body. All of the symptoms that someone experiences inside of their body are a physical manifestation of one thing and one thing only, and that is stress. Stress is what ultimately triggers the pain response in the first place. If you look at your diet, one of the things that I notice with people that we have worked with and the process that we take our clients through time and time and time again is this, is that people who have poor diets, and I'm not talking about just food, I'm talking about what they put into their minds, whether they're watching the news or watching things that are fearful or they're watching things that are uplifting, is that people who have a worse diet often have more symptoms like anxiety, like depression, like pain, like autoimmune issues, even thyroid issues. One of my favorite stories, I had a best friend who we were taking care of, and they were diagnosed with what is called Hashimoto's disease. And Hashimoto's is hypothyroidism. And what they do is they prescribe a certain type of thyroid medication to boost the thyroid, to artificially help out the thyroid. And here's what's interesting about it. We start working with this person. We're taught in chiropractic school, by the way, that once you get on a thyroid medication, you usually don't get off of those medications. So working with them, we start adjusting them, we start waking up the brain, and pretty quickly, in about 3 months' time, they get completely off of their thyroid medication. Blood levels are back to normal. And the question becomes why? And the answer is this, is because there was so much stress inside of their life, their body was stuck in a stressed out state, that cortisol, one of the stress hormones, was actually preventing the conversion of T4 into T3, which was leading to this diagnosis that they actually didn't have. It was an overabundance of stress. So the lesson in that is this, is that if you can change your inputs and what you're putting into your brain, both by the thoughts that you are thinking, you have to become consciously aware of those thoughts, and two, the things that you're watching, the things that you're listening to, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, when you change the inputs, the quality of outputs within your physical body will literally change. Pain will show up as a result of your mental stress. The best example I could give is that most people, they think that pain comes from the area where they're feeling something. And if that were true, what I'm about to share with you next wouldn't be the case. That is this. Have you ever heard of someone who loses a limb, like an arm or a leg or a foot, and then they still have pain even after that limb is gone? And I'm sure every single one of you, including myself, is sitting there saying, yep, I've heard of this story before. So the question is, how could we get phantom limb pain if we don't even have a limb to have pain there in the first place? And the answer is simple, is because pain signals come from your brain. Your brain is wired. It has a map of every single area of your entire body. And if that area goes away and it's been gone for a short amount of time, your brain is still remembering that that limb was there. And so someone will start to experience pain. The brain is where pain comes from. The brain releases the chemicals to have a pain signal, and then that pain signal is sent down C fibers of the nervous system to tell your body where to experience pain. So if you're working with a practitioner, or you are a practitioner who's looking for, or you're chasing the pain in a specific area of a person's body, you might be completely missing the cause by not addressing the brain. And this is how, my friends, this is how pain is really just a manifestation. Any symptom you may be experiencing, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's skin issues, whether it's back pain, it doesn't matter what the symptom is. It's a result of stress and stress stuck on in your system, because we know that stress hormones weaken the part of the brain that turn down our pain signals. Stress hormones weaken the part of our brain that's responsible for regulating what happens in our brainstem. Stress hormones weaken the frontal cortex, and when the frontal cortex gets weaker, that's where our physical symptoms show up. So if you're looking to change the game for your practice, if you're looking to have a deeper level of conversation where you don't feel stuck just chasing someone's pain, you got to understand that neurologically what's happening in the body. And oftentimes it comes down to a stress response that's stuck on. Remember that your mental state is going to influence directly what happens in the physical body. Or if you're someone seeking out help for some symptom or some issue that you've been told is not curable, I would encourage you to find a practitioner who will actually measure what's happening in your brain and address your brain. And I guarantee that you will get life-changing results. We've seen it time and time again with clients in our office in the process we walk them through in our neural integrity mapping process. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can always reach out to us. Just DM us on Instagram and say, hey, I want to learn more about neural integrity mapping. I love you. I appreciate you. And we will come at you again next week. Peace.